ខ្ញុំមកជួបជាមួយនឹងឯកអគ្គរដ្ឋទូតសហភាពអឺរ៉ុបប្រចាំនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាលោក Igor ហើយខ្ញុំនឹងសួរគាត់25សំណួរ What do you respond if someone says climate change isn't real? What time did you wake up this morning? The biggest climate crisis in Cambodia.
Shush.
អរគុណនេះ office គាត់ Hello.
Hello, welcome today. Come on in.
Hello, Ambassador. How are you?
Very good. Yourself? Everything
I'm
okay?
Good. Yes, I'm good. And
All
very
right,
nice
take a
meeting
seat.
you today.
Well, likewise.
Yes. Okay. Let's start with our question.
Yeah.
Yep.
6 o'clock.
3 things you usually do right after waking up.
I check my phone. I shouldn't. I have my coffee and I have breakfast.
Okay. How do you commute to work?
I walk 30 meters from the house, which is just there to the office. Yes.
3 things you were amazed by Cambodia.
So, weddings, they're really something else. It's
Yes.
like a huge rock concert sometimes. The dollar, everybody uses the dollar. And thirdly, people are so kind, and especially in traffic it strikes me that nobody ever swears.
Interesting. How often do you ride a bike?
Once a week, at least I try.
Okay. So maybe we can walk outside.
Sure.
You can tour us around.
Sure.
Okay, next question. As an EU ambassador, what's at the top of your job description?
So it basically says representing the EU. That's what it says. Then there's many other things, but that's the headline.
What is your 2024 climate action pledge?
My pledge for this year would be to have solar energy on our rooftop, which will be a challenge, but we'll try at least. So this is part of the political section and the communication section. That's our finance and contract people. Maybe we can just walk downstairs.
Okay. Why we should talk about climate?
Because it's the greatest threat of our times, the threat to humanity as such.
Can you give one interesting data about climate that you think the audience should know?
Well, in the last 20 years, we had the 10 hottest years ever. And that's going back all the way to the pre-industrial times. So I think that's quite telling.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting
That's
quite
our
hot as well.
admin section, so just so you know.
I'm getting lost already.
All right, just follow.
Okay. Why EU fights against climate change?
Well, because it's a threat to humanity, but of course it will also affect the European Union. We can already see it today: rising sea levels, the change of weather, water, etc., etc.
Right. Okay, let's go.
Come on in, or come on out, rather. We'll just have a small tour of the garden. This is the reception.
Let's go out first.
All right.
Oh.
So this wasn't part of the script, but somebody is just mowing the grass.
Okay.
All right.
Is it okay if we tell him to stop for a bit?
Sure. Why don't you... Wait.
Noise control. សួស្តីអូនអាចសម្រាប់មកផ្លែបានទេអរគុណច្រើនណាស់អូនរំខានតិច Okay. So one thing you usually do for climate action but not anymore.
What I don't do anymore? Well, when I used to be in Europe, I try not to put the heating on too often, and in winters it's a challenge. But here, of course, there's the air conditioning, but it works reversely. I try not to put the aircon on all the time.
Name 5 actions that we all can do for climate in 5 seconds.
In 5 seconds. 5 seconds is a bit too much, but don't turn on the aircon and leave the door open.
Yeah.
Don't eat too much meat. Don't fly too much. Speak up and ride a bike.
Perfect. Define collective climate actions. in your own words?
So I'd say, for me, sometimes climate is described as something for that group or that group, but it's really something that the whole of society should be, one, aware of, and two, deal with. Be you rich or poor, be you young or old. So yeah, that's for me the collective action.
Okay. What is the underrated issues or effects of climate change?
Underrated. I think many people see climate change as global warming, which of course to some extent it is, but it's mostly about the weather changing in all kinds of directions, which are, it's a kind of unpredictability that comes with climate change that I think is more frightening just than the rise of temperature as such.
The next one is going to be an interesting one.
All right.
What do you respond if someone says climate change isn't real?
Just trust the science. I think we should just trust science, and if science says it is what it is, then it is what it is.
One climate documentary you recommend?
Oh, I go back to Al Gore's Inconvenient Truths. It was, it's now more than, was it 20 years ago? But it was such a shock when it came out, and I liked the fact that it was positive as well, that it had, you know, not just the inconvenient truth, but it also a way to deal with it.
I haven't seen that. Definitely.
Oh, you haven't seen that? Oh, you have to.
What are the key climate goals for the next 5 years?
So, of course, the overall goal is to keep the climate, the temperature rise below 1.5, which is going to be a challenge. But then another goal to reach that would be for us Europeans to diminish the number of emissions with 55% by 2030, which is almost 5 years from here.
The biggest climate crisis in Cambodia?
Shush! Water. Yeah, go ahead.
The biggest challenge in achieving climate targets?
The mindset. Changing the mindset.
Oh. The biggest challenge in implementing green policy?
The mindset. Yeah.
How do you communicate the urgencies of climate action to your children?
Well, I think it's my children who communicate the urgency of climate action to me rather than the other way around.
Step you take to add eco-conscious value in your family?
No plastic, deal with waste in the way we should, so recycle even though it's difficult here. Yeah, that kind of small steps.
Okay. 5 eco-friendly products you use?
Can I mention my bike again?
Sure.
So no plastic bottles, it's a fast food or fast clothing. I think that's already 4 or 5, yeah.
Do you think 1.5 degrees Celsius is still attainable?
We have to.
This is the last question already. I think it's super short.
All right.
So last question, one advice you would give to Cambodian youth?
Speak up and just, you know, this is a challenge of not just my generation, but your generations and the generations to come. So speak up, be active, be out there. The time is now.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank
Very
you.
nice speaking to you.